And the countdown to the first day of school is on for students across Metro Atlanta. Students in DeKalb County schools going back on Monday. And that's where Dr. Norman Sauce continues his role this fall as interim superintendent. He joins us this morning to talk about the year ahead. Dr. Sauce, great to see you. Good morning, sir.
It's great to be with you.
So the first day of school is Monday. What's going on behind the scenes right now to make sure everything's going to be ready for the kiddos?
Oh my goodness, our operations staff, our schools and leadership staff, our teachers have been working tremendously hard, not only this week, but throughout the summer to prepare for a successful launch of school on August 3rd and also a successful open house experience for our families and scholars today and tomorrow. But there's an infinite number of work that they've been doing the last several weeks and months, not the least of which is more than 100 renovation projects this summer. Also this week is our pre-planning week for our teachers, so they've been experiencing some wonderfully impactful professional learning, and not to mention getting their classroom spaces ready for what will be a wonderful welcome of our scholars on Monday, August 3rd.
100 renovation projects. That's something else. Are we talking classrooms, schools, cafeterias?
Every varying degree. Some major, some minor. HVAC, flooring, painting, lighting, capital construction projects that are already underway that folks know of, such as the Sequoia Middle and High School building, and everything in between.
Okay. What are your top priorities for the new school year?
Well, first and foremost, we're really excited about this year. We are launching our first ever unified literacy plan, where we're approaching literacy instruction, literacy pedagogy through the lens of structured literacy in a unified way. Our Board of Education passed our first ever literacy policy in June, so we're really excited as our teachers get supported and get the resources that they need to approach literacy in a unified way in accordance with the science of reading and structured literacy principles. We also are doing a lot this year to elevate exposure and access for our students, to our middle school students, to high school credit-bearing courses in middle school, to offer more AP classes and more exposure for AP, IB, work-based learning, dual enrollment classes for our high school students. And we're also launching this year our first ever aviation pathway through our career technology education department. So we're really excited, particularly in the land of Delta, that we're getting in on the opportunity for students to get exposed to aviation pathway. So there certainly is more I could share, but those are some really exciting nuggets.
All right, big three highlights right there. What about artificial intelligence? How is the district approaching that with either embracing it or cracking down when needed?
Yeah, certainly. So I think, it starts with districts, us included, having, uniform governance around artificial intelligence. So I will tell you that last year we developed a cross-divisional AI task force to begin, researching and exploring, appropriate uses, appropriate parameters, potential policies, et cetera, for our district to implement and employ related to artificial intelligence. That work gained a lot of steam as we barreled towards the end of the year last year. And so this year, in the near future, we're looking to propose some draft policy for our board to consider around AI governance. And also, I would offer in terms of screen time, I know not entirely the same discussion, but we've certainly heard a good bit of feedback from teachers and families about screen time parameters. And so we're also going to be soliciting stakeholder feedback this year, perspective, gathering some data to then help us craft some policy around screen time parameters. As other districts are doing, we're going to do the same this year.
Okay, we'll be interested to see what comes of that. School safety, of course, always top of mind, but perhaps especially this week because we see what's happening in Barrow County with the sentencing of the school shooter of Appalachia yesterday. His father going to be sentenced tomorrow. I'm just curious how you work behind the scenes to ensure something like that doesn't happen in DeKalb County. And I'm not just talking about bringing a weapon on campus, but also making sure some of the warning signs and the red flags aren't missed.
Certainly, that's a great question. I appreciate that, and that's obviously a very appropriate concern that I know are on many stakeholders' minds. Starting with the proactive. In DeKalb County School District, we employ more than 600 mental health professionals of varying titles and service delivery models. We think that it's important that we have ample access and exposure for our scholars to mental health professionals as needed, so that as potential warning signs may emerge, no matter how big or small, we have appropriate resources that we can dispatch and deploy so that warning signs can be proactively addressed, served, and God willing, not lead to some of the tragedy that you referenced and that we've seen around the country. In addition to that, we have done a great deal over the last few years to train our staff on restorative practices and also on youth mental health first aid, which again, going back to the mental health conversation, can allow our staff to recognize warning signs and understand how to respond and whom to dispatch sooner. On the kind of hardening the outer core part of the conversation, DeKalb County School District was one of the first districts in the metro to employ weapons detection systems, which we did going on now 3 years ago. We have weapons detection systems now in our middle and our high schools. We also have added elementary safety associates as of last year. We're one of the few large districts that have elementary safety associates in every elementary school to go along with school resource officers and campus supervisors that we already had in each of our middle and high schools. But we don't offer that just as like additional law enforcement personnel needed in our schools, but rather additional trusted adults with proper training to respond not only to the acute situation that may arise that compromises safety, but also as another kind of learned professional to connect students with proper resources that they need if trouble signs emerge.
Dr. Sauce, you're overseeing a large district, some 90,000 students, though it's getting smaller. It wasn't that long ago. It was more like 100,000. What does that mean for the future of schools, specifically, the student assignment project? Can you tell us where things stand on that, and specifically, in the coming weeks, what parents can expect conversation-wise?
Yeah, certainly. And so, thank you for the question, and we know the keen interest in this topic. So, don't have substantive new plans to unfurl in this interview, but we appreciate the interest. As the public is aware, we announced some evolution of the process late last spring, in which we heard abundantly. We heard from our stakeholders that decisions need to be made closer to the communities they would potentially impact, that the community needs to be heard before decisions are made, of course, and that we need to heighten our infrastructure and our presence in particular communities, clusters, and neighborhoods to hear from those folks to guide our future decision-making along these lines. The community is aware from last spring that we have some new construction and some significant renovations coming online in the next year and shortly thereafter. So there are conversations that we need to have about potential rebounding and also some programmatic implications that may accompany those rebounding conversations, particularly as it relates to these new buildings that will be coming online in the next year. From there, we're going to continue the evolution of the conversation to other spaces of our county where there is discernible under-enrollment, not just to quickly make decisions about potential school consolidations, but again, to hear from our stakeholders in those spaces about what are the best ways forward to respond to where we're under-enrolled, and how do we also make the school and district experience more attractive for students to have access to all of the opportunities we desire for them. So on the other end, we're also seeking to bring and welcome students back who may have left us as we seek to ensure that each child has the opportunities they need and deserve in DeKalb County School District. So it's a multi-layered conversation with many facets to it, but we're up for it, and we're excited to re-engage with our families very soon and hear their perspectives on these matters.
Okay, more to come in the coming weeks. I'm sure we've been following that closely, and we'll continue to do so here at 11 Alive. Dr. Sauce, you've been serving as interim superintendent since November. I'm just wondering, on a personal level, what you've been most proud of during that time.
Well, I appreciate the question. I'm most proud of, first of all, the partnership and the confidence. Well, I'm proud of several things, but I'll start with I'm most proud of the partnership and the confidence of a tremendous board of education who have partnered with me in this journey as we've, continue to seek to elevate conditions and experiences for our scholars. I'm proud of how the conversation throughout the district has remained on the needs of 90+ thousand students, 14,000 plus employees, and ensuring that we continue to implement innovations, changes, updates, whatever active noun you want to use to ensure that scholars have what they deserve in DeKalb County School District. We talked about literacy earlier. That's a really great example. I'm proud that we have employed steps to be implemented starting this year, August 3rd, to ensure that each child has access to well-trained, well-resourced teachers in structured literacy, science of reading pedagogy. I'm also proud of some significant changes we've made to how we're screening and identifying children for gifted education. We've had nearly a 20% increase in students identified for gifted education over the last 2 years, about 10% just in the last year, including many students from our historically underrepresented populations in gifted. I already talked about increased access to AP and Carnegie units in middle school. Those are things that we're proud of as well. And listen, we're in a positive direction forward together for results as we talk about, and that's going to continue no matter what. And I'm excited to stay here for the journey as long as they'll have me in the seat. We're going to be ready.
Well, I guess that's my next question. The one-year contract's up in November. Do you hope this becomes a permanent role if the board would have you?
I appreciate the question. My commitment to DeKalb County School District is unwavering, no matter what the title says. I love DeKalb County School District. I'm excited us remaining one district, one direction forward together for results. And I'll keep showing up, giving my best, no matter what the title is. So my commitment remains unwavering.
Dr. Norman Sauce, the interim superintendent of DeKalb County Schools. We wish you good luck next week, and we thank you for the wide-ranging conversation this morning, sir.
Absolutely. Thank you.